Hello everybody out there watching on YouTube, and welcome to race number 28 of Season 4 of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series, also the second race of the Chase. Hi, I'm Levi McIntyre, the voice of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Kobalt Tools 300 here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, as we are getting set for 42 laps of racing here at the Magic Mile. But before we take a look at the starting lineup, we gotta take a look and see how the point standings look coming into the race today for the second chase race of the season. So after the first race at Arizona, Joshua Sekuli took the points lead over. Second is Sean Galligan, third William Brock, fourth Tim Fiegel, fifth Kyle Matthews, sixth is our pole sitter for today, James Qualls. 7th, Dylan Poteet, 8th, Johnny Gardner, 9th, Dylan Jacobs, 10th, Dylan Young, 11th, James McLeod, 12th, Zach Flickinger, 13th, Rafael Leduc, and then 14th, dead last in the chase, is Chris Dollerton. But it's still anybody's game. 42 points separate the top 14. Anything can change in these next couple of races. But before we get started, let's take a look at the starting lineup. Starting in the last row is Cody Smart and James McLeod. So James McLeod, the lowest qualifying chaser, is going to have a lot of work to do. But the top 10, James Qualls on the pole. Starting next to him is fellow chaser and the points leader, Joshua Sekuli. Row 2, Dorian Facepuncher and Emmanuel Hartnett. Row 3, Preston Blord, Trent Dunham. Row 4, Alex Gray, Dylan Poteet. And then row 5, Jay Jefferson and Zach Flickinger. Let's go ahead and get the command to fire engines for the Kobalt Tools 300 at New Hampshire.
Drivers, start your engines.
All 42 cars rolling on the racetrack for their one pace lap. So with New Hampshire, being close to the front can be an advantage for you because of the clean air. However, if you've got a fast enough car and you work your way through traffic very well, you can make a run for the lead. We've seen it happen here in New Hampshire plenty of times in the past, but can we see that happen yet again? James Qualls, though, is trying to go for his third win of the season and really get going in the chase, but the pace car's in pit road. Boogity, 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 let's go racing. James Qualls got an excellent start right there and is now pulled ahead to over 3/10 of a second lead over new second place driver Dorian Facepuncher. Now Dorian Facepuncher, he has had a struggle of a season so far here in Season 4. But this is his farewell season in the Marvel Studios Cup Series, because after this season, he's going to be moving on to the Amazon Prime Truck Series to kind of reinvigorate his career here on this channel. But right now he's having a very solid run here in the early going, running in second right now. But James Qualls with that clean air, depending on what kind of runs we see these drivers have as the caution has come out. Looks like an accident here on the front stretch. Let's see who was in it. Phil Parker looked like he was involved. It might have just been a single car. Well, maybe not. That looks like, I think that's Cody Smart, is it? Yeah, it is Cody Smart. So it looks like Cody Smart and Phil Parker got into it on the front stretch. So already here in the early going, our first caution. So with that being said, let's take a look and see what brought the caution out for the first time today here at New Hampshire. Well, here's a look at what happened. So they were 3 wide in the very back of the field, and it looks like Cody Smart gets tight off of turn 4, gets up into Phil Parker, and then hard hit for Cody Smart into the inside concrete wall, but Phil Parker went for a wild ride, but yet he somehow didn't get front end damage or really any rear end damage. All he did was just flip over and maybe some side and roof damage, but other than that, I saw him drive away. I'll be shocked if he'll still be up to speed, though I highly doubt it. But let's look at this one more time. Look at the impact the 26 is going to make. Driver's side, front end, first into the wall, went up in the air. That was how hard of a hit he took. And then the 09 of Phil Parker goes for a flip and somehow manages to keep driving. Like I said, I'll be shocked if the 09 is going to be able to continue and somehow be up to speed. I don't think he'll be up to speed, but you never know. Stranger things have happened here on this channel. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take you to the restart here at New Hampshire. Well, after that first caution, we got 4 cars out of the race, as I guess there was a collision on pit road between 3 drivers, and they were Ashlyn Boyd, James Shelley, and Ryan George, as they joined Cody Smart out of the race. So yeah, there was some contact on pit road, I'm going to assume. But yeah, but there were pit stops, and we got a completely shuffled up field now. James Qualls, however, is still your leader. New second place driver, Dylan Jacobs. Third, Joshua Sekuli. Fourth, Emmanuel Hardnett. Fifth, Jay Jefferson. Sixth, Trent Dunham. Seventh, Preston Plord. Eighth, Jonathan Zorlane. Ninth, Dylan Poteet. And then 10th, Alex Gray. 11th, William Brock. 12th is Jake Baskinger. 13th, Charles Sanford. 14th, Seth Cole. 15th, Zachary Fitzwater. 16th, Joshua Collard. 17th, Dylan Young. 18th, Matt Haas. 19th, Sean Galligan. 20th, Matt McIntyre. Green flag is back out here at New Hampshire. James Qualls got a decent jump on that restart, but Dylan Jacobs is trying to keep up with him a little bit. Dylan Jacobs, he's definitely looking for a little bit of redemption after the last race we ran, which was Arizona, and he's wanting to get back into the hunt. And Dylan Jacobs, so far in his Marvel Studios Cup Series career, he has come close every single season to winning the championship. Season 2 just missed out on it in the last race. Same can even be said for Season 3. Excuse me, hiccup there. Nonetheless, however, he's having a very solid run going here now, but right behind him is the points leader, Joshua Sekuli. And Sekuli trying to get a little more air on the front end of his race car to try and figure out a way around the 78 of Dylan Jacobs. Is right now Qualls still keeping a steady lead over those two behind him. I was going to go back and say that Jonathan Zorlane. Now, Zorlane's currently scored 12th, although he might lose a couple more spots. But Jonathan Zorlane, if I recall, is probably only one of a couple of drivers this season to have not gotten a top 10 finish this season. And right now, it's not looking too good for him, though he's hanging on strong in the top 15. He wants to try and end his struggle of a season on a high note before we go back for Season 5. He'll still be in the 88, and luckily for him, we won't have to worry about knockout qualifying anymore. We got one car off the pace, and that's the 4 of DJ Curtis. I assume he was one of the cars responsible for that pit road collision we saw. But look at Phil Parker. He is somehow up to speed after flipping over. He is somehow still up to speed, and he's trying to keep up with the 41 of Johnny Gardner. That's actually amazing. One of the MVPs of the race has got to go to Phil Parker. Somehow still up to speed after flipping over on the front stretch in the early beginnings of the race. That is incredible. to steal a catchphrase from Kyle Petty. Yeah, you can tell he's keeping up with the field. It's just a matter of trying to reel them in is the big question. And then Jessica Sheldon, on the other hand, something's been up with her. I guess maybe she didn't get off to a very good restart, and now because of that, she's losing a ton of steam. And then Tim Fiegel, I'm not entirely sure what's wrong with him. Maybe he got held up on the restart or something, I'm not entirely sure, but tough break for one of the chasers on the racetrack. But back up here to the battle up here at the front of the field as they are rapidly approaching DJ Curtis. Right now the top four is all chasers. Qualls, Jacobs, Sekuli, and Brock. And then you got a couple of Gibbs drivers, Hartnett and Baskinger. Then Jefferson, then a chaser and Poteet, Gray, and Dunham, the top 10. Half of the top 10 are chasers. 4 out of those 5 are running first through fourth right now. Although we got a battle ongoing now for the third spot, William Brock trying to clear Joshua Sekuli, and he does. Great move by that 66 car, and now he's going to try and take second away from Dylan Jacobs, trying to take 2 spots in 1 lap. Although the 78 hanging on strong on the outside lane, don't think that'll last because the inside gets the bigger run here in turns 1 and 2. Or so I think. Let's see. And the 66 up to second. William Brock is a man on a mission right now, and William Brock is one of 2 drivers in the chase that had missed a race or 2. He missed 1 race. I want to say it was the Daytona 500 he missed. But ever since then, he's been on a consistent roll. The other driver that's been in that consistency discussion is Kyle Matthews, as he missed 2 races this season and finds himself in the chase. And speaking of the chase drivers, we're going to go in numerical order of the chase drivers to see where they currently stack up. Dylan Young last scored in 25th, and he's losing spots. Tim Fiegel last scored 37th. Chris Dollarton last scored in 34th. Dylan Poteet last scored 7th. Johnny Gardner, I believe, is in the chase. Actually, no, yeah, he is. He's currently scored 30th. Kyle Matthews last scored 32nd. Sean Galligan last scored 11th. James McLeod last scored 22nd. William Brock was last scored in 2nd, then James Qualls the leader. Rafael Leduc last scored 20th. Dylan Jacobs last scored 3rd. Joshua Sekuli right behind him last scored in 4th. And I believe that's it. Meanwhile, battle for the lead. William Brock going to try and go underneath of James Qualls, but once we cross the line, we're going to go take a commercial break. And so on and so forth. But the live action will still be on the bottom of your screen as William Brock clears James Qualls for the lead. William Brock, your new race leader. Don't click away. The live action will be on the bottom of the screen, but we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back. What the fuck? There's a fucking crack in the fucking ceiling of my room. And it's leaking blood. Are there a bunch of dead birds up there or something? Either way, I need to get this fixed. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there! Hey, can you fix this for me, please? I sure can. Just give me a second.
A few moments later.
Another reason more people stay with State Farm. Get to a better state.
You want to buy a bottle, plastic or glass? Well, we sell bottles. We only sell bottles. Be sure to go to www.bottlesinc.com. What the fuck am I doing with my life? I've got fucking Chinese food! I can't even open it! Look at this Chinese food! Look at this Chinese food! Oh, I'm gonna eat it! Look at this! You've got lo mein noodles, you've got onions, you've got carrots, cabbage, and you also have General Tao chicken pieces. I think Chinese food, the best a man or woman can get. Hello YouTube, for those of you who don't know who I am Thrash Maniac 99, and I love to talk wrestling, NASCAR, metal music, play games, as well as do commentary for races and commercials. And this is yet another commercial. If you want to watch videos of me raging,
God fucking damn, Kyle Busch is in the final four of the title, and Denny Hamlin wrecked Chase Elliott. Fuck.
talking pro wrestling, first, keep Roman Reigns the silent but deadly badass babyface he was during the Shield, and two, to give Roman Reigns the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 32. Comedy from King Fat. We have clickbait money for the fucking win! The Marvel Studios Cup Series represented by the NNSCRA. Metal reviews, but I am back here to review one of the most highly anticipated hard rock heavy metal albums of 2018. It is Judas Priest, Firepower, and gaming videos.
Moving on. Sounds like Carson's getting one right now.
God damn, this game has gone to hell.
And finally, commercials. What the fuck? There's a fucking crack in the fucking ceiling of my room. Then click that subscribe button now. If you want to enjoy the shit show that is the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button now, otherwise I will probably punch you in the mouth. Welcome back to live action here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, as we are coming to 11 laps to go here in the Kobalt Tools 300, and William Brock has pulled ahead to a nearly second and a half lead over second place, now almost 2 seconds. So the top 10 as it currently is scored: William Brock is your leader, second James Qualls, third Jake Baskinger, fourth Joshua Sekuli, fifth Emmanuel Hartnett, sixth Sean Galligan, 7th Alex Gray, 8th Dorian Facepuncher, 9th Seth Cole, and 10th Zachary Fitzwater. But green flag pit stops are underway, as a lot of drivers have decided to come in to top off on gas and get fresh tires. But there's still a lot of drivers who have yet to come into pit road. Many of the top 10, in fact, have yet to come in, as it's now less than 10 laps to go, and William Brock still going to stay out extra laps. Not sure the strategy here, but he's trying to keep it out there as long as he can. Then again, pretty much all the top 10 are still out on the racetrack, while the majority of other drivers are going into pit road. And looks like Dylan Jacobs had to come back in for an extra stop. Something must have went wrong under his first stop, and now he's back in here. And now Joshua Sekuli has entered pit road. Meanwhile, the leaders are still out on the racetrack. Brock still leads by less than 2 seconds, but is he going to come into pit road or not? That's the question. It looks like he's going to, as he's slowing down. Qualls, however, is going to stay out. Baskinger is in. A little bit of a stack up, which helped for Alex Gray to pick up a couple of spots. Interesting strategy there. But yeah, tough break for a couple of drivers who ended up going multiple laps down. As a result, Jay Jefferson's 5 laps down somehow. I'm not sure as to why. He's been stuck on pit road for multiple laps. As Qualls has entered pit road. James Qualls will surrender the lead for the time being to come into pit road to top off on gas and perhaps get the fresh tires that he needs. However, we're not entirely sure who's going to be the leader after all this. Could it be William Brock still? I'm not entirely sure. Another car out of the race, once again for no fuel, and that's Matt Haas. I still don't understand how that works, but I don't know. I just don't know. But let's keep an eye on Qualls. Is he going to be able to get out in time ahead of the 66? I think he's going to. So James Qualls, although Dylan Poteet's out of gas, oh, William Brock just hit Poteet! William Brock just hit Poteet, and William Brock's chances of winning this race has just gone up in flames. Caution is out once again, so that could lead to a green-white checkered or a one-lap shootout. Man, oh man, that was such a devastating blow to a couple drivers in the Chase's chances. Brock and Poteet. Poteet was out of gas trying to get the pit road, and William Brock didn't see him and slammed into him. Poteet is done for today. William Brock's stuck on pit road, but I'm thinking he's done. But James Qualls managed to get back to the lead after those pit stops, and if this race ends under caution, he's got it. But let's go ahead and take a look at the replay to see what brought the caution out for the second time today here at New Hampshire. Well, Poteet did come into pit road, but I guess they didn't get fuel in his race car, and that's what ended up costing Poteet big time of a good run. And then you're going to see William Brock here in the 56 try to go around Alex Gray for second, but he doesn't see Poteet right here, and then slams right into the rear end of Poteet, which sent Poteet hard into the outside wall, and William Brock sits in the middle of the racetrack completely destroyed. So, I mean, I understand you're out of gas, but you have to warn the drivers that you're on track trying to get to pit road, and just took out a gray race car right there with that 66. So, tough break for two chasers, but like I said, if you're out of gas, you've got to warn the drivers behind you, and that just took out two really good race cars. But let's go ahead and take you to what could be our final restart or the checkered flag here at New Hampshire. Well, after that last caution, we got a couple more cars out of the race, and they include William Brock, Carson Gum, and Dylan Poteet, as multiple drivers retire out because of no fuel, like Kyle Matthews and Trent Dunham. Still don't understand how that works, but we're going to have a one-lap shootout to determine it all here at New Hampshire. James Qualls, who's been the dominant car most of the race, is back as the race leader. Second, Alex Gray. Third, Dorian Facepuncher. Fourth, Johnny Gardner. Fifth, Zachary Fitzwater. Sixth, comeback run for Tim Fiegel. He was in the back all day, somehow in the top 10. What a comeback for the 8 team to get himself back in the chase hunt. Then Emmanuel Hartnett 7th. Yeah, I was trying to figure out. Dylan Thoreau in 8th. Ryan Brommer 9th, and then Matt McIntyre in 10th. Pace car in the pit road as both the green and white flags are displayed. Final lap here at New Hampshire. Although Qualls let the inside open, and Alex Gray's going to try and take the lead. Man, that was a big mistake on Qualls' part. He shouldn't have left the inside open, and Alex Gray, the rookie out of NOS Energy Racing, is going to take advantage. What a last lap pass and a big miscue for Qualls. Checkered flag waving. Alex Gray wins the Kobalt Tools 300 at New Hampshire. Tough hardship for James Qualls, but still will get a phenomenal points run. But man, I don't know what happened there, but Qualls left the inside open, and Alex Gray was able to capitalize and go to the inside and make the last lap pass for the win. That had to be one of the most dramatic finishes we've had in this series in quite some time. But let's look at the rest of the results. The dominant car of the day, James Qualls, despite that hiccup on the last lap, still will get a phenomenal points day in the second position. Dorian Facepuncher with a solid run in fourth. Then Johnny Gardner comes out fourth, or Facepuncher third, then Gardner fourth. And then Zachary Fitzwater rounds out the top five in fifth. Tim Fiegel, like I said, with the comeback run of the day, was in the back pretty much all race long, finishes sixth. So that's going to be a big points gain for him in the chase. Emmanuel Hartnett with a solid performance in seventh. Great run in eighth for Dylan Thoreau. Solid run in ninth for Matt McIntyre. And rounding out the top 10 with a good run in the 10th spot, Preston Blord. Rest of the top 20 was Ryan Brommer, Joshua Sekuli, Jake Rogers, Brandon Gonzalez, Seth Cole, Rafael Ledoux, Chris Dollarton, Devin Becker, Joshua Collard, James McLeod. Then the rest of the top 30 was DJ Curtis, Jessica Shelton, Pichu London, Zach Flickinger, Dylan Young. Phil Parker still was able to finish on the lead lap, up to speed after flipping in the beginning. That's impressive right there as well. Then Charles Sanford, Jake Baskinger, Jonathan Zorleen, Sean Galligan. Then two cars a lap or more down, Dylan Jacobs and Jay Jefferson. Everyone else was out of the race after wrecking or running out of gas. William Brock, Carson Gum, Dylan Poteet, Kyle Matthews, Matt Haas, Trent Dunham, Ashwin Boyd, James Shelley, Ryan George, and Cody Smart. Well, that does it for our coverage here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Stick around for the next race, race 28, race 29, chase race number 3. Where is that race at? I don't know, but until then, here are your results, rookie points, and regular points heading into the next race. And this is Levi McIntyre, signing off.